Hello, hello, and welcome. It is I, your host, E Dirty Tati, better known as Tatiana Noel, or am I better known as E Dirty Tati? I don't know, but welcome. Welcome back to GT Champions World Cup. This is Season 6, Round 8. World Cup is brought to you by Metropolis, Detailing Group, RWB Racing, Hypre, and GTC TV. And finally, but most special to me, it's brought to you by Pride at the Dragon. Pride of the Dragon is my baby. It is a retreat for queer car enthusiasts and their allies. And we basically spend a week in Appalachia driving the famous Tail of the Dragon and other roads in the area, along with other non-driving activities. You can find out more about that at www.prideatthedragon.com, and of course you can find out more about our sponsors at GTCHAMPIONS.com. Let's get right into it, guys. This broadcast is the consequence of my mistakes. Well, if it's not the consequences of your own actions come back to bite you, that's exactly what has happened here. So I broadcasted this race live on Saturday night, if you don't know, and I had a new audio input. I'm giving you the full excuse because I need you to excuse me. I need you all to forgive me. Okay, so I added a new input because I was like, I'm picking up a lot of ambient noise in my mic. Let me just use this directional joint. And I forgot to add the input to the master recording and broadcast. So like I talked that whole race. I honestly, if there was an award for broadcast commentating, there probably is. I just don't know about it. But like I should win it. Unfortunately, no one will hear this most certainly award-winning broadcast, and so I come humbly to re-record for you all. All right, where were we? Round 8 of not too many, guys. We don't have too many races left, but this is round 8. We're in the Mazda Atenza GT4 car at Mount Panorama, aka Bathurst. This is one of my absolute favorite tracks. In any sim racer. It's and I guess in real life. I've never been in real life, but I love watching races here. Bathurst is in Australia, of course, and it's glorious. It is glorious. It is a track that rewards high speeds and yet is very technical as well between the straights, as you will see in this race. The Atenza GT4 car, also known as GR4 in Gran Turismo 7, is just a highly modified street car. Basically, you know, it's a street chassis. You got a roll cage, you got it out. It's the stock engine, but you do some racy things to it, just for longevity. You know, good suspension, good wheel package, a little bit of aero, like a front splitter and a rear wing. Not too much. Very fun to drive class of cars is GR4, and this Atenza, because it's GR4, it gets to retain its all-wheel drive configuration, and so it also pulls out of the corners. Anyway, I've been talking too much. I didn't even use this much talking time in the actual race. I will show you the grid that we had. A few people didn't make it. Let's see who wasn't here. We had Toto Wolff, we had Let It Rip, we had Burning Man, Kai was here, Little Mac was here, The Truth, Bendix, Leo was here. LJ was. Who wasn't here? Pretty sure Ricardus was there too. Wooly. We were missing Wooly. He might have been the only one. In which case, great. I'm not sure I saw Fry either. But anyway, we had a pretty full grid. It's a huge track and a long race, but we had a decent grid. This is round 8 of 12, so we only have 4 more rounds after this one, y'all. And so the championship is really starting to take form. We've got people picking up penalties and you don't want them, like Little Mac. He's got a drive through there. You can see him in 5th place with that DT penalty on his name, and we will see him take that in the race. Why don't we get straight to it? I have it loaded up here, ready to go, ready to play right as the lights go off. So let's get into it. All lined up. Standing start should be great for these cars. They're not super powerful, and we are on racing tires. However, they're also all-wheel drive, so should see very little wheel spin, if any. Ooh, a good start for the 2 leaders. Kind of a slow start for whoever that is in 4th place there. But anyway, I watched through turn 1, of course, making sure that we didn't have any safety car incidents, and we didn't. It was a fantastic turn 1. Everyone got through cleanly, and this is me switching through the camera views. I love this view down the mountain straight. That's the name of the first straight down on this track, rather. I see a big elevation change as they head towards turn 2 there. What's this turn called? Quarry Bend. I'm not sure why it's called Quarry Bend, but it's more difficult than you think. Late apex, or you hug the apex there, and it's a good passing point. Right here, we're going to hit the cutting. I don't know why it's called the cutting either, but it's a very sharp hairpin that will catch you out. Now, these cars are all-wheel drive, and it's front-wheel drive biased, so they shouldn't have issues in the cutting, but in rear-wheel drive cars, it's so easy to power oversteer out of that. Now they've headed up the park. It's a very fast section of the climb up the mountain here in Skyways, or Skyline rather, as they head down. Now is the descent down. First you start with the S's. They are hard to master. We've already got a couple of cars off through the S's, too wide for some people, and into the Dipper, which is the final turn of the S's. So far, everybody looks good, and here we are into the elbow, known as Forest Elbow or Falcon Elbow, depending on how you decide to call it, but it is a critical corner as the cars head out, jockeying for position on the back straight, Conrad straight. Anyone who got a good exit here should be able to get a good run up the straight. Hopefully you've got a slipstream. If not, then at least hopefully you got out of there better than the person next to you. But the leaders almost tied up side by side for Toto Wolff and Let It Rip. Let It Rip backs out of it, lets Toto take it, and right behind them is The Truth in 3rd in that matching livery as Let It Rip. It looks like he might have more pace, and he is getting in front. Yes, Let It Rip is letting him in front very easily there. Sounds like some team orders there. So now The Truth will chase Toto Wolff. A couple of cars getting out in the grass in that final corner there. Nobody spins. Everyone seems to be okay. Let me tell you, all-wheel drive is so forgiving. That's not to say that it doesn't take skill to drive these cars. It takes skill to drive any car in this game quickly. A lot of people will try to disparage you and say that, you know, you're not. Anyway, it takes a lot. But these cars, luckily, if you get out in the grass, unless you get out in it too far, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. Burning Man leads Little Mac into Quarry Bend. Little Mac looking left and right, trying to get around him. I know Little Mac has a drive-through penalty, though, so I wonder if he's going to just chill behind Burning Man and maybe they can just travel together, or if he will try to get around him to get as much distance as he can. It all depends on the pace here. Of course, he is starting behind Burning Man. And that just means that he had a slower lap in the last race than Burning Man. Or actually, I think he had a -5 penalty as well, so he might be down 5 places. Regardless, we'll see how that shapes up. Cars starting to separate now, but we have a lot of pairs as they travel up the mountain, and now the leaders are descending into the S's. What an amazing camera view that is right there. Total Wolf leads, The Truth leads, Let It Rip into the elbow. He's got to get a good exit here. Easy to understeer there. It's a downhill braking zone, but the corner itself is also still downhill. You're still traveling downhill as you go through the corner. It's incredibly easy to understeer, which compromises your exit, which is so needed on Conrad State. It's an incredibly long straight, so top speed absolutely matters here, and a little bit of a bobble at the front or out the corner can cost you at the end, and that's what's happened here. Total Wolf maybe not getting as good an exit as The Truth. The Truth also getting a really good slipstream up Conrad. That straight it's got to be almost a mile long. Here's Let It Rip trying to make a move on Toto. Is Toto going to let him through? Let the teammates go? No, Toto stays defensive. He didn't stay defensive, but he keeps his corner. Let It Rip, unfortunately, not able to make the inside move work. He takes a peek into turn 1 here. Toto, unfazed, doesn't move to the defensive, and that is him in second place. He's got a little bit of a toe from The Truth. It's not much. You're 1.3 seconds apart, so he might actually be just outside the toe. Meanwhile, Let It Rip has all the slipstream behind him. Is he going to be able to make a move into turn 2 here into Quarry Bend? It doesn't look like he's even going to try. Nope, he stays where he's at. They will race on, maybe in an effort not to let The Truth run away too far. I mean, Let It Rip and The Truth are teammates, of course, and there are team points, but you know, drivers are also racing for themselves. Too wide into the cutting for Little Mac and Burning Man. I think Little Mac wants around that car. I thought maybe he might chill, but obviously he wants to get around Burning Man, and hopefully he doesn't try to go through Burning Man. Leaders as they climb through the parks. I call them the parks because they're literally named after, would we have Sullivan Park or McPhillamy Park, Reed Park, something like that, before you get to Skyways. And now down through the S's. You know what? We'll take a lap around here. I think I recall taking a lap around here on board with someone. And once we get to that, we're going to do it, baby. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Burning Man and Little Mac still bumper to bumper into the elbow. Little Mac seems to have a better exit through there. He takes a much tidier line through the cutting. Can that count for anything as they get to the end of Conrad? We gonna see. It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough. He gets much closer in the braking, though, maybe close enough to make a move into the final corner or turn 1 on the track. But this is shaping up to be a pretty good battle for 4th place here. I do hope I check in with the leader sometime soon, but I see there's action here, so obviously I stayed with it. Little Mac sticking to Burning Man's bumper. Burning Man out in the grass a little bit on corner exit. That gives Little Mac a run as they head towards turn 1. Little Mac decisively on the inside. I think he's going to make the pass easily here, and sure enough, he does. Burning Man looks for the undercut. Little Mac covers, and I think that is pass done. Checking on Let It Rip. He's not any closer to Toto, so we're going to watch this here. Burning Man was able to stick to Little Mac's bumper coming out of turn 1. Little Mac is going to defend. No, he decides I can break later into this corner than he can. I am not even going to try to defend, and sure enough, no challenge from Burning Man, despite the fact that he was right there under Little Mac's wing, maybe opting not to fight, maybe choosing peace, but Little Mac into 4th place regardless. Just behind them, though, you can see his car peeking there. That kind of Tiffany blue situation is Bendix just in the background as we watch these two cars as they climb through what I'm calling the parks. They just ran through Reed Park. This is Solomon Park. This final corner here is called McPhillamy Park. And then Skyline is this little straight here, because to the left, as you can see, lots of sky. And now downhill through the S's. I knew I was right. Skyline, Skyways, Sky. Sky so bright. Little Mac getting a little bit of separation through the S's. That's not uncommon. It's hard to follow someone through there. Luckily, these cars aren't too bothered by dirty air, and the S's aren't so quick that dirty air should be much of a problem. They're almost taken very straight. So really what you need to worry about is making sure that you hit the brakes hard for the last S before the dipper. Whew, what a track. We're on board with Little Mac as he brakes for the 2nd to last corner, or 3rd to last corner actually, aka the chase. And I think we're going to take a lap on board with him here. That would make sense to me. So final corner, it's a 90-degree left. Keep it tidy, not too much curb. Track out, use all of it if you can, and Little Mac absolutely does. And now he's going to cross the start-finish line to head into turn 1, aka Hell Corner, because it can be hell on a standing start. Luckily, we had a great one. Little Mac very tidily through there, does a great job. This first long straight is called Mountain Straight. Parts of the track like this are why I say it absolutely rewards fast cars. Look how long this thing is before you get into turn 2, Quarry Bend. It is an uphill corner. Again, you either apex it late or you apex it early, but stick to that apex for a while before tracking out. Easy to understeer out of there. And now a slight lift and then hard on the brakes for the cutting. Not as hard as you think, actually. Up out of there. He's able to use all of the tire and all of the throttle getting out of there because it is all-wheel drive. And now we head into Reed Park. This is Reed Park. This first hand left, Solomon Park. This first hand left. This first left-hander. This second left-hander, also part of Solomon Park. And then McPhillamy Park here into Skyline. This long straight to the left. The Sky under the bridge down to the S's, as you see, pretty straight but hard on the brakes for this corner here, and then a little stab for the dipper here. You can see why it's called the dipper. Then you can straighten that car out, run it on down, slight lift, and then hard on the brakes for the cutting here, the elbow rather. It is a late apex. You want to be patient before you get on the gas here. Little Mac doing a great job of keeping a tidy line through there again and maximizing his exit. As soon as that car was pointed straight, he mashed on the gas, and now into Conrod Straight, called Conrod because it is very long, and if you're going to lose a connecting rod, it will happen here. But it's virtual. We're not going to break the cars today. Hard on the brakes, use the signs on the right to figure out your braking point for the chase. Difficult corner to perfect. It feels like it's difficult, like 130R is difficult. And here Little Mac is, so he's going to skip that last corner. That last corner is called Murray's Corner. He's going to go ahead and dip into the pits to serve that drive-through penalty. This is lap 5. I think the rules say he has to serve it within the first 5 laps, something like that. So he picked up a position, went as fast as he could. Now he's going to fall down the order because of that drive-through, and we'll just have to wait and see how he does. Hard to recover from something like that. Luckily, I don't think this is too long a pit lane. It's not too bad a pit. That was a quick look up front. The Truth Serum gone. Total Wolf and Let It Rip still racing together. Now Burning Man alone. Behind Burning Man, you got LJ also racing kind of alone. 1.1 seconds to Pickle Kai behind him, though, so not too far away. Just one bad slide away. Pickle Kai, however, with a Bendix right up his bumper. And Bendix, I think, was racing in 4th or 5th before, no, 6th. I think it was, so he's lost the position to Pickle Kai here. Just behind him, we've got Leo looking good in that red, white, and blue livery, mostly blue and white, but I see a little red in it, I think. Either way, looking great. It's a good looking car anyway, the Mazda Atenza is. Now Flash has a whole line of cars behind him. Hey, Fry was here. It's Flash, Fry, Ricardus, CB Matt Merch, and the damn cat. So that's like 5 cars, 6 cars, all racing in a line in this mid-pack. Little Mac has already served his penalty. He's 8.3 seconds behind the damn cat in last place, 14th. So that was a rundown of the first 5 laps of the race. We are in lap 6 now. We're just staying with Little Mac. Basically, he's just got a hot lap. I hope he's able to save some fuel, save those tires a little bit without having a battle or deal with dirty air, but also he doesn't want to go slow, so he's gonna have to figure that out. Hopefully he's got the speed. This is such a beautiful track. Look at this thing. Look at all these elevation changes. I mean, I haven't been here in real life, mostly because I'm afraid of Australia. All the Aussies and RWB and previous World Cups know that. They know my philosophy on Australia. So I won't repeat it here. However, maybe one day, look at the truth. 4 seconds up the road on Toto Wolff. So as soon as he made that pass on Let It Rip, he attacked Toto, made that pass, and has just bugged out. He's gone. Toto Wolff has picked up a gap against Let It Rip as well. 2 seconds is that gap. So Let It Rip not really in a battle for first. The battle for first a little bit spread out. Now, of course, Let It Rip is still close enough to make a move on Toto should he make a mistake. Burning Man all alone. Pickle Kai with a little bit more time to Bendix, but not a ton of breathing room if he doesn't keep it together. Purple for Pickle Kai in the first sector there. For so far, the fastest lap is owned by, no surprise here, The Truth with a 2:14.268. The way he's running away at the front, I'm not that shocked. However, you can get a pretty good lap just in Slipstream. The way Leo is in Bendix's Slipstream right now as they start their climb up the mountain, doesn't look like it's an attack, or if it was, it is stopped now. But they make their way up the hill to the top of the storied Mount Panorama. I have to look up some history on Mount Panorama to talk about too during quieter moments in the race. But of course, here in the beginning, we're still waiting on things to really settle down. We're in lap 7. We are 15 minutes into the race. And life is good. Life is good. Ooh, side by side for Fry and Flash into the S's. Fry is going to get on ahead of Flash there. I wonder if Flash maybe made a mistake in Skyline. Easy to do coming out of McPhillamy Park. Easy to go wide if you don't judge your lift just right. Either way, we didn't see what caused it, but Fry able to capitalize and get ahead of Flash by quite a bit. What's going on behind them? Still a good line with Flash, Ricardus. I can't tell who else is back there. I think it was like CB Matt Merch. Come on, give me some views. Yep, Matt. Who's that behind Matt? That is, okay, that was Rad Cat Man. I'm not used to saying that name, so I might mess it up a few times. Well, Flash, you gonna get back at Fry? Doesn't look like it. 1.7 seconds in arrears already. But maybe Fry's just saving fuel. I mean, the fuel saving is going to be important on this track. Obviously, 2 very long straights, lots of uphill sections. Fuel will be at a premium, and saving time in the pits is always recommended. As usual, I always go over some of the rules in pit stops in this series in each race. Ooh, purple first sector for Ricardus. People are juggling that purple first sector a lot, but The Truth holds on to the fastest lap. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying that pit stops, yes, so refueling is set to 1 liter per second. That is incredibly slow. By default, I believe the game default is 3 liters per second. So we have slowed that down. So literally every liter of fuel you save in that car is worth a second in the pits. If you can save even 3 liters over the car that was all over your bumper in the first stint, you've won. You know what I mean? So fuel saving will be at an all-time high, and maybe that's why we saw Flash lose that position to Fry and immediately lose a lot of time to him as well. It looks to be holding Ricardis up, and maybe CB Matt Merch. Not that Ricardis is super close to him. We'll see. There's always a bit of separation, of course, going down the mountain. When we come back, we'll see if Ricardis is any further. The truth certainly is 6.4 seconds now in front of Toto Wolff. It was like 4 seconds last time we checked. Toto with a little lag there. Love that SRC livery with the bunny on it. Photographer trying to get a look at it too on the track you saw there. I love this rendering of this track. Let it rip. 2.7 seconds behind Toto Wolff. So he is steadily losing time to him. You know, the paces may not be similar, or again, could be fuel saving. Either way, the top four pretty separated. However, fourth with a line behind them. Pickle Kai in fifth, Bendix in sixth, all behind Burning Man here. Pickle Kai and Burning Man both in their SCR liveries, looking good. Love that black and green, kind of chromy green look. Bendix pretty much picked up a good gap on Leo, 2.1 seconds. Fry 1 second ahead of Ricardis, so he's got a little bit of a gap as well. Sorry, in front of Flash. I am flying through these people faster than I can call it because I had already called it. CB Matt Merch seems to be under attack by the damn cat. I wonder if he is or if they're just working together. Loving CB Matt Merch's livery though, that renowned livery, very storied livery with Mazdas. Of course, the famous Mazda 787B Group C racing car that won Le Mans wore this livery. And it's a great looking one on the Atenza. I think the Atenza is known as the Mazda 6 in the United States. If you are a US viewer and not sure what I'm talking about, what is an Atenza? It's the Mazda 6, and I don't think anyone could argue that that is a good looking car. Certainly looks great in race car guys and touring car guys, if you will, with just the kind of aggressive wing and the arrow and the lowered stance. Oh yeah, that is bad. Of course, his doesn't say renowned, it says victories with Victory Racing. So CB Matt Merch with a fully custom livery. Like all of these cars, everyone has to run a custom livery in this league, or at the very least, the livery has to contain certain elements. You'll see all the cars have a matching number plate. You'll see GT Champions logos and High Prix logos on the same spots in the bumpers. The numbers are all in the same spot. There's a front banner they have to run. And I'm probably missing a couple of things as well, but you notice these similar elements on all of these cars, and that is just part of the purple for LJ. LJ now in last place, by the way. Little Mac has made a pass. Maybe LJ had to pit. I do see it lap 6, 244, and then lap 7 at 223. That seems like an in-lap and an out-lap to me. So LJ must have pitted for some damage or something, but he is flying now, trying to catch back up. He's 17.5 seconds behind Little Mac. Let's see what he does when he crosses the line here. Takes the fastest lap, a 213.5. Man, yeah, LJ is blazing. He's not playing around. He's got clean air, and he's taking advantage. Hopefully he doesn't burn through those tires or that fuel too much. The truth, 8 seconds away from Toto Wolff now. It's only growing. All he has to do is keep it together. Clearly, he's got the pace. I do wonder how they'll do towards the end of the stint. This track can be tough on tires, and this is an all-wheel drive car with a front drive bias, and so those front tires are going to be doing a lot of work. They're carrying a lot of weight over them, and well, we'll see. I do believe that the drivers are allowed brake bias tuning, and so you can shoot the brake power all the way to the rear in an effort to save your fronts and save them from how much work they have to do. Of course, that's going to affect your braking, but it may give you longevity in a stint, right? Pickle Kai into fourth now. Something happened to Burning Man. He's down in 6th behind Bendix. So a lot of time lost there. Not sure what happened to him, but he is traveling in front of Leo, so he's not out of the woods either. He's gotten right there, right in the Leo's clutches, and he looks a little bit slow into the chase. Of course, that could just be still recovering from whatever happened a little while ago, but I think that car is a bit slow. We'll see. Clearly, I was sticking with it for some reason. He may have damage. It was a big accident, so may have damage on that car. May just be driving a couple of laps to see how it will affect him. Leo is behind him. He's got, it's 0.8 is that gap now. We'll see how he does in this straight, this mountain straight here. Burning Man fakes to the left like he's going to try to break the toe. Leo follows and gets right back behind him. Maybe that's given Burning Man just enough, but Leo is already cutting that lead in half. It's 0.4 seconds now. He is absolutely gaining. Will he be able to make a move in a turn two? I don't think he's close enough. He's going to stay behind, but I think Burning Man's in trouble as far as top speed goes on that car, and that's not what you want. Sir, certainly you can make time up in these areas here, like climbing the mountain in the technical section of the track, but I don't think you can make enough time in the Atenza to make up for losing top speed on those two incredibly long straights on this track. And all of this climbing as well, you know, you got to be able to push the air out of the way, or slice through the air rather. And if you're carrying too much downforce, because one of your wings is messed up, it's going to severely slow you down. The car's stacking up behind him now. Behind Leo is Flash, and behind Flash, I believe, would be not Fry, but Ricardus, if I'm not mistaken. I can't see just yet. It doesn't look like Ricardus. Ricardus's car is white and pink. White and pink. Here we are again on the straight. This time, Burning Man, Leo, a lot closer to Burning Man, and it's a much longer straight. What is he going to do towards the end of it? Can Burning Man defend? Is there anything he can do at all? We'll see. Leo behind. It's 1 second is that gap. I think Leo had a bad exit out of the elbow, and that is going to save Burning Man. Meanwhile, Flash and Fry back at it again. Fry had backed off of Flash a while ago, remember, and now that 1 second gap has closed completely up. They are bumper to bumper, and they're closing in on Leo and Burning Man. So I do think Burning Man may be slowing Leo up. And who's behind Fry? Ricardus, down in the 10th place. Four-way battle for 6th here as we get into turn 1. Lap 12, 25 minutes of racing of 60. Sorry, of 120, my bad. Ricardus leading his own little train, 10th, 11th, 12th, and a little bit of 13th there. All bumper to bumper as they come into turn 2. You gotta love it. One thing you don't want to do in this track, if you can help it, is lose the slipstream, unless you're just freakishly fast, like the truth clearly is. He don't need no slipstream, but for everyone else, it's nice to have a buddy or 3 to just help you slice a hole in that air. 11.6 seconds. That's all I'm gonna say. Meanwhile, LJ still has the fastest lap. He's picked up a little time. He's now 14.3 seconds behind Little Mac. Still a long way to go. Little Mac still chilling in 13th there, but he has caught up to some people. He's caught up to this train back here. So that's the Mad Cat CB Matt merge. Ricardus, it's going to be Fry and Flash just a few seconds ahead of that. Let's see how he gets through this pack, if he even can. It may take a while. Picking off 3 cars isn't easy, but oh, it's more than 3 cars now. Yes, both trains absolutely are starting to come together. That's Ricardus in front of CB Matt Merch, and in front of Ricardus is Fry. Fry, Flash, Burning Man, Leo. Leo in front of Burning Man now, so Burning Man has lost a position. There's Bendix just in front of Leo. Oh, that's Flash around Burning Man, so Burning Man really struggling here. Tries to get back at him into the chase. He's not going to be able to make it happen. So Flash into 7th place. Burning Man down into 8th. Started this race in 4th place, and it is falling away from him now. Just behind him and all over the back of him is Fry. He's been battling with Flash for a while. I'm sure he wants to get back to that. Maybe they has some revenge to take, if you will. Though I think that Flash's earlier pass on him might have just been, you know, hey, I'm saving fuel. Anyway, Flash and Leo now lead this pack together. Leo making his way up into 6th place fairly quietly. We're getting deeper into the top 10. Where did Leo start this race? Leo started in 8th place, so not too bad to have gained 2 positions here. You love to see it. I love that 13 laps into this race, we still have this many cars racing together. It's not at the front, of course, but it is towards the mid-pack, and that kind of tracks. The mid-pack of this race was full of Pro-Am drivers. Most drivers in this lobby right now are Pro-Am, with the exception of 5 drivers. So these guys all have similar paces, at least in theory. At least in theory. Burning Man, actually one of the few pro drivers in this, and unfortunately just falling prey to all the Pro-Am guys. Meanwhile, The Truth, also a pro, killing it out here, showing it. 12.2 seconds is the gap to 2nd. The Truth trying to make a point here. I would like to be in lobby 1 next week, and maybe you'll get there. Only so much space. 15 drivers per lobby. Unfortunately, I wish there were more, but there isn't. We just can't do it. Kazunori, hey, Gran Turismo, Polyphony Digital, Sony, whoever I gotta call, whoever's responsible, we need more people. More people in the lobby. Well, Pickle has quietly made his way to 4th place. Bendix behind him as well. Both of them, neither one of them really getting into any sort of drama that I can recall. Both of them just looking good, chilling, minding their business. Minding their business like racing royalty, and you love to see it. It has rewarded them well. Both of them in the top 5 now after starting, let's see. Well, Pickle Kai started in 4th, so I think he fell down the order a little bit, and now he's back into 4th, so good for him. Bendix started in 7th, so that is a position gain for him. That noise you hear is my cat trying to climb the back of my chair. My apologies. She wants to be part of the broadcast. Say hi, Magic. Leo still leads Flash. Got a little bit of time on him. A second. It's not a lot. It is not the cushion that you think it is. It'll certainly keep Flash from making any moves from back there. However, Leo's got to be on his P's and Q's to make sure he doesn't lose more time. Burning Man, meanwhile, still under attack. He's in 8th place, and he is not able to pick up the pace. CB Matt Merch now all over the back of him and holding up the rest of the line. That's Fry, that's Little Mac, that's everyone else, and they are watching Flash and Leo just run away with it. I can only imagine that they'll start to get a little impatient with Burning Man. We'll see. But maybe he'll pick it up and hold his own. This track is, well, I've already said, it's one of my absolute favorites. It is so hard to master. Not hard to learn, I don't think. Maybe. There are a couple of corners that you have to know how to take it, right? Things like the Dipper, the Chase here. You have to learn how to take that corner before you can even learn how to be fast in the corner. You gotta know, hey, this is how you do it so you don't spin. Ooh, Little Mac making moves. That's Fry. So Little Mac absolutely already making passes. He's passed the Mad Cat. Last time we checked, he was behind the Mad Cat. He passed Ricardus. Now he's just made a move on Fry for 10th place. So Little Mac on a tear. after taking that drive-through penalty and being dead last by about 8 seconds. He's made his way back into the top 10, and he's got a lot of cars in front of him. It's not like it's just open air and nothing to do. He has more cars to pick off. It's got to be a good place to be, a good feeling to know you've got pace and you've got some challenges. CB Matt Merch round the outside into Corey Bend on Burning Man. Burning Man goes defensive. CB Matt Merch not able to get back on the gas in time. He's out too wide, and that's also going to open the door for Little Mac, I think. Yes, indeed, Little Mac gets in front of CB Matt Merch. A free 9th place there. Huge mistake from CB Matt Merch. Now, Little Mac just going to chase down Burning Man. Burning Man, meanwhile, still losing time to Flash and Leo. Those two are racing together, maybe even working together a little bit. Flash, of course, the king of just quietly making his way up the order. I don't really see him battle a lot. Don't see him get into a lot of drama. So he's probably just happy to follow Leo as long as he's going faster than the guys behind him and maybe even the guys in front. Bendix and Pickle Kai in a pickle. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Bendix around Pickle for 4th place. Unfortunately, we didn't see that pass, but I'm sure it was spectacular. Something to behold. Well done, Bendix, into 4th place. And these two would probably do well to also just work together, because Flash is crafty. Flash in front of Leo now. Looks like he's into 6th place, according to that tree. So we've missed another pass, and maybe he was a moment ago, and I just missed it. I'm not going to rewind. Do I have the power to do so? Yes, but honestly, I don't have very much fine control over the playback head in this app, and so trying to rewind back 10 seconds will result in a 2 minute. Anyway, you don't need it. The pass was made. A pass was made here. However, the battle continues, because there's Pickle Kai. Yep, he pokes the nose. He's not going to make a move. He's too far away. He's just looking right now, and that tells me that maybe he doesn't want to work with Bendix. Maybe he wants violence. He's in Bendix's slipstream. What's he going to do? Is he going to pop out? He's going to give him a bump draft. He pops out. He's going to go inside into turn 2. Both of them side by side. He's got a good run on Bendix. Might even get around him easily before they get to turn 2. I think he managed to make that pass before the braking zone. However, he brakes too late. Bendix with the easy over-under on him. Well defended by Bendix there. Way to call it. And that's that on this effort here. Uh-oh. Who's that with a penalty? Burning Man with a half-second penalty, and Burning Man down in the 12th place. So he's lost more positions, picked up a half-second. Where do you pick up a half-second on this track? I don't know. Maybe cutting turn 1 or something too much. Either way, Pickle still chasing Bendix for 4th place. I think the sun is starting to get down, getting a little low. It absolutely is. And this track is gorgeous at sunset. And it gets really challenging to drive at night. So we'll see how that affects these drivers as they make their way through. Lap after lap. 16 laps in. 36 minutes in. Pit window opens in about 14 minutes. So the pit window is from minute 50 to 70. It's a 20-minute window where everyone can jump into the pits to change tires and get fuel. Now you have to change tires in this league. There are 2 tires available, racing mediums and racing softs. You get 1 set of each, and you have to use both sets. So that pit window is everyone's 1 chance to change their tires and put fuel in their car. Now you can pit outside of that window. You think LJ did to fix some damage. You can pit to fix damage, and of course, if you have a drive-through penalty, you have to pit. You drive through the pit lane, and that's what we saw Little Mac do. But if you take fuel and tire outside of those 20 minutes while you're in the pits, you pick up a 1-minute penalty, which is huge around here. The track takes around 2 minutes and 15 seconds to get around. And so 1 minute is almost half that. Imagine being half a track behind when you finish the race, or being placed half the track behind where you actually finished. Anyway, point is, you don't want to mess with the pit window. We'll see that open up very soon here. We'll be able to take a look at people's tire and fuel situation. Now, at this point, I will say that tires were difficult. I don't know that anyone really managed their front tires very well. Most people's front right tire is pretty dead by now, which we see some evidence of. I'm not sure if we see evidence of it right now or anytime soon, but you know, cars start to go a little wide, especially because you have so many sweeping left-handers like this one, right? Up all the way up the mountain, you got a ton of sweeping left-handers. You've got some pretty hard braking left-handers, things like the elbow, the cutting, and that really chews that right front tire up. Not much anyone can do. It is an all-wheel drive platform, and so in order to be fast, you kind of punch it out of the corners, which kind of eats those tires up more. I'm sure as a race car, this has a limited slip differential. However, some slip is to be expected. And again, that's going to chew them tires up. Tires get chewed up. Tires be getting chewed. Running Man down into 14th place now, I believe, from having to take that penalty. That definitely would have lost him places. Now he's 2.7 seconds behind the rest of the pack. So Burning Man, a huge fall from grace from 4th to 14th on this track. Hard to get back if it's not working out for you. Uh-oh, very wide, out of the chase, and into the wall. That's going to be damage. That's going to be huge damage on that car. He will probably have to pit to fix it. Yes, he is indeed going to jump into the pits to fix his car. He just slammed into the wall incredibly hard there, and so he'll go in and fix it. Again, can't take fuel, can't take tires, but he can fix this damage. Nice choice of wheels. 14.3 seconds for the truth. It's ridiculous. Let it rip, also losing touch with Toto by a lot. It's 8.6 seconds between them. So first through third completely separated. Bendix with a huge amount of time on Pickle Kai. Well, I said that, and then he slammed into the wall a little bit. So Pickle Kai now catching him. It was well over a second. Now he's going to be right on his bumper as they head down the S's. Unfortunately, that's a sign of what I was talking about, that right front getting chewed up. Bendix goes out very wide in McPhillamy and slams into the wall, headed towards the S's, and that brings Pickle Kai right back in it with him. Let's see how he navigates the elbow. Ooh, treacherous for them, getting real close to that wall. Of course, you got to use as much of the track as possible right there, and there's no runoff. It's just the wall, so that means getting close to the wall. Get that mirror to touch if you can. Not too hard, though, obviously. Pickle Kai and Bendix. Pickle Kai with a good exit out of that corner, and Slipstream. Bendix going to defend into the kink, but that just gives Pickle Kai the inside for the chase, and so Pickle going to hold it on the apex. Absolutely beautifully done. Makes the pass on Bendix there, and is he going to defend into the final corner? Bendix looks to the inside, gets back behind him, gets back in line. So pass made and done. Oh, but Bendix with a better exit out of the last corner than Pickle Kai. Bendix into 4th place. They're going back and forth. He's going to have to defend this corner. What's he going to do? And what kind of exit does he get? Because again, this is such a long straight. Sure, you can defend turn 1, but at what cost? At what cost if it costs you top speed at the end of the straight? Let's see if Bendix got the right mix there of defense and corner exit. I think he's going to be okay. That big dip is a sign they're heading into the braking zone. Sure enough, they get there before Pickle Kai can make a move. Pickle going to want to be careful in that dirty air. It shouldn't affect those cars too much because they're not that aero dependent. They have front splitters, of course, and a rear wing, but it's not the biggest way these cars make their mechanical grip. I think those are more about just, you know, lending some stability to the car than giving them any real huge downforce advantage. So dirty air, minimal. Still, following someone up corners like this when your right front is struggling can just cause you to struggle more. A lot more slip in those front tires, and then downhill into the S's. All of this is downhill. Every braking zone after Skyline is downhill, and steeply so. It will test your front tires to no end. This is the most technical section of the track. It's left, right. Kai into the wall in the elbow, and that is going to make him lose touch with Bendix completely and probably pick up some damage. I think Bendix has right front damage from his touch with the wall and front splitter damage, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember from Saturday's broadcast, and I think Pickle Kai picks up the exact same type of damage right there. Starting to look like Pickle Kai was starting to catch up with them. Behind them, Ricardis in the 7th. Last time we checked, Ricardis was in 10th, but Ricardis is now in front of Leo. He's between Flash and Leo. Flash is 1.4 seconds up the road. Ricardis then behind him, and Leo right on Ricardis's back. Here comes Little Mac. He's made his way into 9th place. We saw him make that pass for 9th over CB Matt Murch a couple of laps ago. CB Matt leading his own pack. LJ from last place by like 15 seconds is into 11th. LJ has been killing it with that fast lap time. Fry down in 13th behind the damn cat. And then Burning Man in last by 43 seconds now. 44 seconds for Burning Man. He did, of course, have to pit for damage. That takes time. Wow, this race is still so close. We're 44 minutes in. We still have a bunch of cars racing together. I love it when the first stint stays like this for a while, especially on a track like this that will really catch people out if you let it. We're doing a quick run down the order here, trying to figure out why. What are we looking for? Bendix 2.2 seconds to Pickle Kai. Of course, Pickle got into the wall last time around, getting out of the elbow, and so he's going to be struggling to get back in the game. Flash, Ricardis all over the back of him. Ricardis has found some pace somewhere. Or did Flash have a bad lap? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. I don't see any particularly heinous lap times on the right here with Flash. I think Ricardis has just been speedy. I would love to see his recent lap times. Take me to Ricardis. Well, we're still just looking at Flash, so we'll learn nothing about Ricardis. I like the way that livery looks. More chrome green happening. What's up with chrome green this week? Sometimes all the liveries are completely different. Of course, with the exception of teammates, they'll usually rock the same livery. Or maybe sometimes somebody will borrow a livery. Flash's BBL livery, using that same chrome green that we saw on like Pickle Kai and Burning Man's cars. That ooh, I hear lots and lots of tire sound. Who's that coming from? I don't know. Showing tires now. Showing Flash's tires. His right medium, right front actually looks pretty good for this stage in the race. I may have miscalculated when the tires super die. We'll see. We're gonna look at everyone else's. Ricardis. Ooh, let me look at Ricardis' lap times. Oh, he was running like 2:15 at some point. He had a couple good laps. Oh, 2:15s plural. That's why Ricardis has been catching up to Flash. He picked up the pace. For real, for real. Leo still right behind him, though. Not going to lose him. You can see everyone's right front tire doing worse than the other 3 tires on the car. We already talked about why. It's just the nature of this track and the combination of this particular car. Rear tires looking really, really good and healthy for everyone. But rear tires aren't the ones that do the steering. They don't do the majority of the braking. And in an all-wheel drive system with a front drive bias, they don't do the majority. They don't do the majority of the accelerating. So the rear tires not having to do much work. Those fronts having to work overtime, and it is showing. Going through everyone else's tires and fuel. Everyone around a quarter tank of gas. Some people had saved a little bit more than others, as always. Some people just better on gas, others better on their tires. That is the nature of having different, you know, talents, people who are better at different things. Now, it's awesome that everyone's in the same car, and so everything else is equal. Your tire wear, your fuel use rate, etc. That is all about you and your drive, the way you drove the race. And so it's interesting to see who's better than others. Fry, not great with that right front at all. He's been very mean to it, and it shows. Burning Man's is completely gone. I do wonder if that damage he's been carrying for a while has anything to do with it. Front right and front splitter, he was carrying that damage a while ago. He did pit for damage, but I think he must have re-damaged it. That has completely eaten up that front right altogether, and that's going to be a real struggle for him as we near the end of this stint. Of course, we're 2 minutes away from the pit window opening. That's our leader, the truth. That's what his tires and fuel look like. 2 minutes from the pit window. That doesn't mean that people are going to want to pit immediately, especially if the mediums are this worn this early into the race. We're not halfway through yet. 60 minutes is the halfway mark. We're at minute 48. If the mediums have worn this much, then the softs will wear even more. Now, it's nighttime. The track will have cooled down. That might lower the rate of tire degradation. It might also increase slip because the track will be cold, and if you're not careful, you'll end up sliding around a bit more if you start overdriving the car. So again, it comes down to the drivers themselves, but as they get on the softs, we'll see how they last. I would imagine that most people will opt to take the softs as late as possible in order to maximize the chances that they make it to the end of the race with some tread up front. Still so close after all this racing. Look at this. Look at this huge line of cars. It has bounced back and forth. Cars have lost places, gained places. Little Max in the 7th place now. Got around Flash. Ricardis, we saw him pass Ricardis before. LJ is into 10th now. So LJ following Little Mac, just trying to cut through the order and get up front where they can. Little Mac's drive has been incredible, making his way to 7th place so far. And again, we're not even halfway through the race. Now, I was looking at his fuel and tires. He seems to be okay on fuel. I thought maybe the run up might have cost him a little bit more than it did, but it seems to be okay. Hopefully we'll get another look at it later. But look, still going 2 and 3 wide into the chase on lap 22. I think someone might have got hip checked out there. Yeah, Ricardis seems to have lost a lot of positions there. I think he got a little bit of a hip check. You can't go 3 wide into the chase. Someone's going to lose. That's LJ giving it back. I think LJ is the one that hit it. So LJ made his way into 10th place. Now has to settle for 12th after waiting for Ricardis. Yeah, man. 2-3 wide into the chase. It don't work. It do not. But that little kerfuffle, you know, I like to say kerfuffle in these races, that has brought different cars together and taken different cars apart. Still a strong mid-pack. Look at Pickle Kai leading all the way through 7th, 8th place here, 5th through 8th. Back and forth they go, trading positions, getting closer, getting further from one another. All this accordioning. Oof, you love it. You love close racing. It looks good. Loving the way this track looks at night right now. Actually, it looks like it's still sunset. I saw a little sliver of light in the background there in the sky, a little sliver of orange. But, oof, I love seeing Bathurst at night. I like racing here at night. It's very challenging. But it is reminiscent of the Bathurst 12-hour. And if you're not familiar, that is actually this weekend. But there's a 12-hour race that happens here. It marks the opening of the Australian racing season. And it is a brilliant race. I mean, an insane amount of cars get on track. I feel like it's like 80 cars sometimes. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're all different classes. GT3 is the top class. However, you've got stuff that's like just barely modified street cars racing on this same track. And the race starts in the morning time. It's very early morning in Australia, and so it starts in the dark. And so this is the view you get. Especially imagine like a standing start. No, actually, I think it's a rolling start. But imagine a rolling start of a field of 80 cars at night coming over the bend into turn 1. It is brilliant. If you are interested, I think, let me make sure, but I think the website is like bathurst12hr.com, but let me see. It's bathurst12hour.com actually. So once you get there, you'll see the schedule. You can stream it for free if you're outside of Australia. Anyway, that's that race. Who's in the pits already? Pickle Kai into the pits already. Burning Man with a 2-second penalty now in last place, so it's only getting worse. 48 seconds off of Fry, and he's going to have to pause for 2 seconds in game, which will almost certainly lose him more than 2 seconds on the track. But yeah, Pickle Kai into the pits pretty early on in the pit window. We're on minute 53, so 3 minutes into the pit window. It's Burning Man paused. Alright, we're with Fry now. I was like, wait, I see the lights. Uh-oh. Oh, there we are. We were coming through the cutting. It's hard to tell where we were. Up the hill, into the parks. Look at the city in the background there. I love the way this track has been rendered in this game. And of course, in GT Sport, it looks really good too. Just more background stuff rendered. Maybe not the highest resolution, but check it out. The lights back there are twinkling. The lights at the bottom of the mountain, and then you've got the cars racing on the top. Their lights reflecting off of different surfaces on the track. It's just, man, what a beautiful game. What a beautiful game Gran Turismo is. We're grateful that we get a pretty sim like this. Of course, we could use a few more simmy features, but we can't complain. We love it here. Well, the pit cherry, the pit has been opened. And the first person to jump into it was Pickle Kai. We'll see how that works out for him. Everyone's on mediums, and so he'll be swapping to the soft tires. And as mentioned earlier in the race, the soft tires will wear faster than the mediums. And so switching to them early doesn't seem like a great strategy unless you know something. Like, I'm not the best strategist in the world. Maybe he knows if he pits right now, he comes out in clean air instead of the kind of battle he was in, and he can get in a lot of fast laps on those softs and get gains, and it won't matter if they've run out in the end. But I have my doubts. If it were me, I would definitely play it safe, and I would have stayed out on those mediums until I absolutely had to. I'd run the fuel out before I change those tires. Fearless leader to truth with a nice 19-second cushion. Pickle Kai in last place, 47 seconds behind Burning Man, however, has pitted, has refilled that car with fuel. And it's interesting that they filled up completely. We're not halfway through yet, so I wonder if I guess they'll have to do some fuel saving. If you needed a full tank from this point, you'll need a little fuel saving. Another car jumping into the pits. I think that was Leo. Yes, it is Leo. Got to be careful on pit entry here. It is easy to miss your braking. There is a sharp left-hander at the end of the pit entry, and you're carrying a lot of speed right there. You got to slow down a lot sooner than you think. And if you go out wide, you pick up a penalty and you don't get to pit. You got to go back around the track. So Leo in, LJ also in. Leo with much more fuel save than LJ. LJ, of course, was going for that fastest lap, so and catching up. So it makes sense that he's only got 5 liters left. Leo in with 24 liters in that car. He had a lot of fuel saving, but pits just for tires. Jumps out on the softs, but didn't take fuel. I can't imagine that works out for him. He's going to have to jump back in the pits and take fuel. He certainly can't make it to the end of the race on this tank as it is. It was a little less than a quarter tank of fuel there. This is Fry. 11th place for Fry. And now it's pretty much gotten to where we can't really tell whose car is what unless there are other headlights on it. So we will be relying on their names above the car, of course. Uh-oh, the Mad Cat with a half-second penalty. Not too bad to have to take it here. Of course, you do have to take it on Conrad, which can be detrimental speed-wise, but, well, yeah, it's pretty bad, actually. It's pretty bad. It kind of sucks that it happens there. Not close to the braking zone either, so you just kind of become a sitting duck if there's anyone around. LJ getting a blue flag warning from Let It Rip, who is ahead of him. LJ, of course, has fresh softs on, so he should be able to do more than just keep up with Let It Rip. He may even be able to unlap himself and get away from him. At least I would assume that's what he wants to do. Why waste those good softs stuck behind someone who's on worn mediums? So I'm guessing at some point he's going to make a pass as well as he can, get himself back on the lead lap, and try to pick up the pace on Burning Man. Of course, Burning Man does owe a pit stop, so really Burning Man's not his closest foe. I think it's Leo here. Leo has pitted. Oh yeah, Leo has to pit again though. Purple first sector for Leo there, so picking up some speed on those softs, and of course empty fuel tank, or almost empty. It's less than a quarter tank, so his car will not get any faster than it is now. It technically should be the fastest car on track in this moment. Anyone who's got fresh softs on probably has a full tank of fuel or close to. Anyone who's got an empty tank of fuel is on very worn mediums. Leo has a close to empty fuel tank that's less weight and a brand new set of softs. He should be flying. That was the purple first sector. Let's see, second sector line is around here. I think when you get under the bridge to go down into the S's. Yep, purple still by half a second. So into the S's. Hopefully you can keep all that down neat through the dipper. Maybe a tad slow, hard to tell from that camera angle. And now down into the elbow of Forest. Oh, a little bit of a wide exit coming out of there. Probably not as maximized as it could have been. That's going to cost some time on Conrad here. There's another sector marker here. Let's see where he is for sector number 2. 3? Whatever. Still up, but he's lost about half the time that he had gained before. 0.234 seconds. Through the chase. Just a couple more corners to get right here. Keep them together. Keep that speed going. He's probably not going to pit. Yep, that's right. He's going for this fastest lap. now he crosses the line with a 2:13.4. I think the previous... Ooh, I should have looked to see what the previous one was, but I feel like it was... I'm rewinding. It was a 2:13.5. So... I know, I'm all trying to be slow with it and try to be cute with it. That's Leo's pit. Okay, Leo gets a 2:13.4. Sorry. I just don't want to... I'm going back. I gotta get to where we were. And I shouldn't have messed with it. Alright, we're about right here. Yep, we're with Leo. Last corner. He's gonna cross the line. 2:13.5 is the current fastest lap. Leo comes in with a 2:13.4, which is like, hey man, you have on soft tires. You should be doing better than 1/10 faster than the fastest lap. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to hang on to that half a second he's got. I wonder if he's going to go for another attempt. That fast lap, that 2:13.4, is not going to stand. It's not going to do it. That said, maybe it's not the goal to get the fastest lap. It's the goal to get the fastest lap Leo can, in order to maximize his chances at getting in a high lobby and thus getting high racing points in the next race. That is how this works. So the grid orders every week are determined by drivers' fastest laps in the race before, and all the drivers are in the running. It's not just pro drivers versus pro-am versus pro-am, and so on and so forth. It is everybody's fastest lap against everyone else's fastest lap, and that keeps the lobbies somewhat shuffled up. Who are leaders in the truth with 0 liters of fuel in that car. Hopefully he went in there under his own power, not just coasting. But here's LJ. He does have a fresh set of softs on, and he is on a flying lap, his first flyer since pitting. Full tank of fuel, though, not the same situation as Leo. However, let's see what he crosses the line with. Burning Man in with 0 liters of fuel. Toto in with 11 liters of fuel. It'll be interesting to see what Let It Rip comes in with in comparison to Toto. Will he gain time or lose time? But Toto, obviously, with way more fuel than the Truth had. LJ crossed the line, does not beat Leo's fastest time. So not this time around. Lots of people in the pits. Toto, SRC liveried Mazda 10's cute little girl on there. I don't know if that's an actual character, an actual anime character or what. So maybe. But Toto with only 10 liters less fuel than the Truth right now, but he should have to refuel less. Let It Rip is in with 5 liters, so less than Toto had. Flash in with 3 liters. Who else? The Catman, I think, with 2 that I just saw. Here's Fry in 11th. He hasn't pitted. LJ with a half-second penalty, so it ain't gonna be fastest lap this time either. He will want to get after that. Right now he's got clean air, but you never know with all these people pitting. There's no guarantee that another car won't come out right in front of you and hinder any fastest lap efforts you might have. Little Mac has inherited first, as he has not pitted just yet, and now he is chasing Pickle Kai, who's getting a blue flag for him. Oh, Pickle Kai goes wide out in Skylines, and he barely hangs on to it. He'll have dirty tires going down into the S's here, though, and yep, he's going to go wide before the Dipper slams into the wall. That's going to be damage. He will need to go fix that car. Front splitter, front left tire. That sucks. He just pitted for fuel and tires. He will not be happy about that. But got some grass on those tires and just didn't brake in time to make the corner down the S's. That gives Little Mac a free pass around. Little Mac will have to pit soon. Of course, that fuel is running out, and the pit window closes in about 4 minutes. Now, the rule is that drivers have to be out of the pits by the time the 1 hour and 10 minute mark, aka 70 minutes mark, is hit, and that means you got to be past the pit out line. You can't be still in the pits. You can't be leaving the pits. You need to have left the pits by the time that happens, or else you'll pick up a 1 minute penalty. So Little Mac has a little bit of time, but maybe can only go one more lap before he jumps in. Oh, he doesn't even. He jumps in right now. 4 liters of fuel in that car, but Little Mac in this first stint from dead last to provisional first. I think real first is still going to be the Truth. There's going to be Toto and Let It Rip, I think, but he's made his way very far up the order and managed to save a little bit of fuel as well. Leo did not beat that 2:13.459 that he had. Now he's starting to get chased. Here's LJ behind him. Sorry, it's LJ that's being chased rather by Flash and the damn cat. I keep wanting to say the mad cat, but it's the damn. Get that damn cat. Skyline is so gorgeous at night. We just saw Pickle Kai go really wide through there, of course. Our leaders are in. CB Matt Merch, Ricardus, Little Mac still in, but just refueling at this point. The Truth re-inherits first place. There goes Toto through as well. That seemed very fast. Toto must be much closer to the Truth Serum than he was before. Certainly, because he just crossed the line into second very quickly after the Truth went into first. So probably did save a bunch of time in the pits there with all that fuel saved. CB Matt Merch should be one of the final people that need to pit. Let's see. Fry has pitted. I'm probably going to go down the order. I hope I go down the order to see, but we should start to see what the grid shape is going to be after this. There's the Truth up front, of course. Total Wolf is pitted as well. All these people are in the pits. Little Mac is pitted. He's coming out soon, I would imagine. He's almost full of gas. There he goes. And he'll be on the racing soft tires now. And where will he come out? He comes out in 5th place. He comes out ahead of Ricardus. Ricardus about to... Is he going to get passed by LJ? Yes. He doesn't have the speed. LJ is going to easily get around him and maintain 6th place. But Little Mac comes out in 5th ahead of LJ. That's probably really good for him because LJ was really quick and may have posed a problem as far as trying to get around him. That's not to say that LJ won't attack possibly. He has taken fastest lap back with a 2:13.4 just like Leo had and might even get faster. Leo into 4th place now. Somehow, how does this even happen? Leo pits in like 6th or 7th place, something like that. Jumps on the soft tire, forgets the fuel, or maybe he didn't forget. Maybe he did it on purpose, was trying to, get fastest lap or get a very fast lap. Then pits again for fuel and still comes out in 4th? What am I missing? Why is the math not mathing for me? Is it me? Am I the problem? Maybe it's me. Pit window closes in 20 seconds. I'm pretty sure everyone has done their due diligence and pitted. Yep, I see a bunch of brand new tires on people's cars. Come on, let's keep going through the order now. Want to see what's Bendix got going on. Ooh, Bendix in 10th after the pit stops. You know, the thing about pit stops is they shuffle things up so much. Because cars that were running bumper to bumper might use fuel differently. And so, they'll come in, but one car leaves 3 or 4, maybe even more seconds before the other, and now they're apart. And it does seem like this, looking at the map, the cars are a bit more spread out now. So we are seeing exactly that. Toto is only 5.8 seconds behind the Truth. Let It Rip is 37 seconds behind Toto. So he lost a lot of time in the pits to Toto. Toto behind the Truth Serum by only 5 seconds. He didn't have to take as much gas. And I wonder if he's going to be able to catch him. Leo into 4th again. I got to ask Leo how he did that, because I do, maybe he's short fuel. The fuel is a little short. A lot of people is fully filled up, like Little Mac has filled completely up. So maybe Leo's plan is to just save fuel, and that's how he ended up in 4th anyway. But man, what a feat. Everyone is pitted, and we still have some pretty close things going on. A couple of couples. Maybe the cars will get back together as the stint wears on. We'll see. We will see. About 47 minutes of racing left. So things can change. We're only on lap 30. Ruh-roh. That was not the right screen. Okay, I went back. This is the right screen. Toto in the pits. What's going on? Toto, he must have picked up damage. He must have picked up damage. Oh, he was almost just less than 6 seconds away from the truth. Now, the truth clearly was showing a lot of pace in the first stint, but Toto was so close, maybe close enough to have a chance. Where's he going to come out? He comes out. He's still in second place. Ahead of Let It Rip. It was just a repair, so a pretty quick pit stop, but I wonder how close Let It Rip is now. 20 seconds it looks like. So Let It Rip just a little bit closer to him, 18 seconds. It's not going to make a huge difference in their gap, of course. And then Let It Rip has got Leo right behind him now. So Leo chasing for a podium spot. I did not see this plot twist coming. Toto comes out 33 seconds behind the truth, so even further back than when he went into the pits, obviously. So I think the hopes and dreams of jumping into first I think they've had to go away, unfortunately. Sorry, Toto. Yeah, Leo is all over the back of Let It Rip. Now, Leo has to save fuel. I think he absolutely needs to, just based on how much fuel he took. I wonder if he will pass Let It Rip here, or if he will save fuel behind him. Just short shift, use that slipstream to his advantage, maybe try to make a pass later. I can't tell if these two are going at it yet. Maybe Leo not close enough to make a move, but again, maybe just sticking to Let It Rip just to save some gas. Clearly, I stayed here with them because I anticipated that something might happen. I wonder if I was right, because I don't remember. I really don't. Who's that just behind him? That is Little Mac in the 5th place. So Little Mac, I think we already talked about that, but that's still crazy. From last place to 5th in the first stint, and he's not far away from 4th and 3rd, so very close to a podium position here with 45 minutes left to go in the race. And a full tank of gas, if I recall correctly. Who's that behind him? That is LJ. So our two fastest drivers, or two of our fastest drivers rather, the truth obviously very fast as well. He's got a 2:13 flat now as the fastest lap, by the way. That blows LJ's out of the water, though I'm afraid that LJ probably hit traffic before he intended to. Maybe Leo too, but LJ behind Little Mac. Is LJ gonna try to fight for the position? Or are they just gonna work together? Oh, that's a big crash. I just saw a huge purple lap. Who was that? Was that LJ? That was LJ. LJ with 7 tenths of a second purple and just loses it in the S's. Unfortunately, that car's probably got massive damage on it, and he's going to lose several positions there. That was really bad luck, really ugly. Unfortunately, Little Mac really catching up to Leo and Let It Rip here. They are going to have a problem very, very soon. Man, LJ to 9th after making his way up to 6th place, and now most likely carrying damage. Was going super fast, but of course was right behind Little Mac. Probably hard to see exactly where to turn in on those S's. I think he just ran into the wall on the outside there, probably being, you know, on Little Mac's bumper. And it'll cost you. You gotta decide what risks you're going to take in racing. Of course, on hot lapping, it's a whole different thing, right? Qualifying, ooh, the damn cat into the pits probably has damage on that car, so he is going to lose lots of positions as well. Sorry, what I was saying is, it's different being fast in a race than being fast in just a hot lap by yourself. And in a hot lap by yourself, you're willing to take risks. You're willing to take more risks to eke out a half a tenth, a tenth, whatever you can get here and there. In real life, not in real life, in a real race rather, you can't take those risks because the stakes are not just a bad lap time. The stakes are lost positions on track. And at the end of the race, no one is going to ask you, well, did you have the fastest lap? I mean, not really. It might be worth a point, but the person that gets the interview is the one who won the race. The one who gets the points. Anyway, yeah, Little Mac now squarely here. That is Leo just ahead, and then ahead of Leo is Let It Rip. Let It Rip with a little bit of time found now. So Let It Rip, sorry, Leo maybe a little bit behind. Both these drivers very fast. Both of them understand what it takes to win a race. And now Little Mac does make a move on Leo. It's going to be on the outside for the kink, but that puts him on the inside for the chase, which is almost a guaranteed pass. It's going to leave room for Leo there, as Leo's obviously still on the outside. Neat into the chase, and that is pass made for Little Mac. Little Mac into 4th place. Now 2.5 seconds behind Let It Rip, and will chase for 3rd. From last place by many seconds after a drive-through penalty to 4th with a chance at least 3rd. That's crazy. Gotten quiet for CB Matt Merge. He spent so much of that first stint in that long mid-pack line or backpack line. Backpack. Now racing all alone. LJ racing alone after falling down the order. Now in 10th place. So lost a place to CB Matt Merch, it looks like. The Mad Cat in 11th now, with Pickle Kai just behind him. Pickle Kai not having a great race after the very first stint was pretty decent. He was in 4th place, started the race in 4th, ended the stint in 4th, I believe, or did something happen before that? He was in 4th for a while. I think something happened before the end of the stint to get him out of 4th, but now in 12th place. Burning Man 53 seconds behind Fry in 14th. Fry not having a great race either, it seems, but you know, not every race gets to be a great race or even your race. So it's what happens. The truth serum is so far away now. 30 seconds to total. Wolf seems to be losing time, actually. It was 33 seconds the last time we saw several laps ago. And so if I'm not mistaken, if I recall, the Truth had picked up some damage. I can't see here because I don't have the original feed that doesn't have the banner on it. But I think the Truth had picked up some damage here and was losing time to Toto Wolff, but it doesn't seem to be a lot of time that he's losing. You have about 40, less than 40 minutes of racing actually. We'll keep an eye on this gap. Of course, we'll monitor it. Right now it's 30 seconds and currently going down. Maybe the Truth is saving fuel, because it's going down really fast. I don't think that aero and damage can account for that, but I could be wrong. Ricardis into the pits, must be fixing damage. So Ricardis, who was having a great race, especially in the second half of the first stint, flying up the order with Flash, has to take a pit stop, and they will lose a position to Bendix here. Hopefully they don't lose any more positions, but tough break. Really hard to be perfect around here lap after lap. This is one of the most challenging tracks to drive, certainly in the game, and I can only imagine in real life as well. Just Bathurst, man. Bathurst. Yeah, leader losing more time, 29.2 seconds. So that's a second lost over the last lap to Toto Wolff. Now, we're 36 laps in after an hour and 23 minutes. So I don't imagine that a second lap lost is going to result in Toto making a pass on the Truth. If it gets worse, though, or if the Truth makes a bad mistake while Toto was close enough to capitalize, it could be an issue. Hey! Look at Little Mac in the third. He made the pass on Let It Rip. We did not see it, unfortunately, but Little Mac in a podium spot, and the gap is growing, or kind of growing. It's about the same. It's about 0.9, but you get my point. It's not 0. It's about a second. 28.7 seconds from Toto to the Truth now. Watching here to see if Little Mac is able to run away from Let It Rip. Let It Rip is a really fast driver, as you can tell. That's why they started at the top of this lobby, and they're still at the top of this lobby. No positions gained, of course, but no real drama either. Like, sure, they just got passed by Little Mac, but they seem to be fine. Oh, this must be the break that I took to tell you guys about the Gentleman's GP this week, today actually, so you would have missed it tonight at 9 p.m. They had a sprint race, 2 sprint races, but on Fridays they have a longer race. So if you're interested in racing in cars like the Ferrari F50, the Lambo Diablo, the Porsche 959, there is a formula for the weight and horsepower of the cars, and fuel and tire wear are a thing. But you can race on Friday. Qualifying is 8 p.m. The race is at 8:15, hosted by J-Rod. If you want to know how to get in, just go to GTCHAMPIONS.com. It is open to everyone for free. Enjoy racing in 90s supercars. Let's see. What were the cars? Ferrari 50. Oh, I missed it. I lost it. Well, BMRL, the truck racing series in iRacing that our GTC TV division commentates on. Actually, Chris Ball, our fearless leader, does the BMRL truck racing commentary. If you want to know more about that, also check out GTChampions.com. There'll be a link to the BMRL YouTube where you can find racing schedules, etc. Finally, if you want to join us in our first iRacing league, check out the Ferrari channel. We've already had 2 races. Round 2 was this past Saturday at Daytona. We're in the Ferrari 296 GT3 car, and there are 6 rounds. Yes, 6 rounds at iconic American tracks. All setups are done by the Maconi Setup Shop, the official setup shop for eNASCAR. They've done all the setups for every race for this league, and that is a fantastic plug for us. A good look. I hope that I put the calendar up. Well, this is more about the series. It began on the 3rd. The races are 60 minutes long. There's a 10-minute qualifying that went really fast. These are the rounds. Round 3 will be at Long Beach in California. So, round 3 will be at Sebring in Florida. We're still on the East Coast run, the Southeast run. Then round 4 at Road Atlanta. Then over to California for Long Beach and Sonoma Raceway. Check that out at GTCHAMPIONS.com. Also live streamed on YouTube. I was there for round 1 as a co-commentator. It was awesome, and I think I get to come back for round 4, something like that. So, you know, if you want more of me, duh, go do that. Go watch that. Bendix into the pit. So many people having to pit for damage in this race. This is such a difficult track to master and to keep your concentration around for 2 hours. I can't imagine. Ooh, here comes Ricardis on CB Matt Merch. Ricardis definitely looking for vengeance, not saying against CB Matt Merch, just against the track, because they clearly had an issue, had to pit, lost positions, and now they've got, well, it looks like they've got the carrot, of course, on the stick, and they're chasing Leo. Who's that behind Leo? Flash? Okay, Flash and Leo back together again in the second stint, this time without a huge gaggle of cars behind them, but these two, no strangers to running up the order together, and that's what they were doing earlier in the race, and now they return to form, this time without anyone around them. Ricardis still hounding CB Matt Merch. A lot of these cars are just paired off, huh? We don't have any, looking at the map, we don't have any of those big long lines that we were seeing before, with, you know, 4 and 5 cars together. That makes me a little sad. Little bit. Like I said, super fun to watch races with just huge, long trains of cars around this place. You know, if you've ever watched V8 Supercars, which is basically Australian NASCAR without the ovals, they race on Bathurst and have since forever, probably. I don't know how long. However long V8 Supercars has existed, probably. And watching them come down the mountain, come down Conrad Straight together is such, it's just adrenaline inducing. This track is technically a street course, and so when they're coming down that straight, you'll see like driveways of people's homes. They are, of course, blocked off for the race. You know, they put up Armco and that sort of thing for safety and fan safety. But Conrad Straight, that back straight, definitely runs through people's homes. This is, I don't know if the whole track is a public road when it's not being raced. It might be, actually. I'll find out. This circuit is very old. It is one that was built in the 1930s. I don't know, like, I don't know configuration changes or anything like that. I would imagine it's hard to change configurations on a circuit that is basically a hill climb, a mountain climb, and then a go back down the mountain. There's only so many roads you can carve through a mountain, which might explain why it's so narrow still, right? Like, you would think that a circuit that has been around this long would have been widened if it was possible, but it probably isn't possible to widen it any more than it is, and so it still looks like it's built for, you know, the tiny cars of the 1930s and 40s, maybe even motorcycles. Just a fantastic track. Yeah. LJ's in 9th, chasing CB Matt Merch, who has been passed by Ricardis. So that pass done. Bendix into 10th place. Bendix was running really well in that first stint. It's unfortunate to see him all the way down in 10th now, and not really sure what he's going to be able to do for the rest of this race here. 29 minutes left, and he's not too far from the car ahead of him, but the car ahead of him is pretty far from the car ahead of them, so you know. Everyone's pretty separated. Burning Man now by almost a minute to the next car. I believe it was Fry. The Truth, 29 seconds to Toto. So that gap seems to have steadied, which indicates to me that maybe it wasn't due to damage on that car. Of course, there's a chance that Toto had a bad lap, or nope, Toto has not had a bad lap. Toto's been fine. Did a 2:13.3 to get that fast lap for themselves, and then, or sorry, 2:12.3. Then backed off. LJ with the absolute fastest so far, with a 2:12.3 as well. So that should bode well for them as far as the lap shootout functionality of our grids goes. So we'll see where they end up next week. Third and fourth still together. So Little Mac hasn't lost Let It Rip. Surprisingly, it's a 1.3 second gap, so they're not, bumper to bumper by any means. However, I would have thought, just given Little Mac's pace, that he might run away from Let It Rip, maybe saving some fuel. They got some traffic ahead of them. See that blue flag waving? That's for a car ahead of them that needs to get out of the way when they get closer. That looks like Burning Man. Yes, that is Burning Man. In 14th there, about to get lapped by 3rd and 4th place. Well, he's not getting out of the way, but he's not really in a good place to do so at this time. Little Mac, unfortunately, just catching him at the top of the mountain. There's not really anywhere for him to go that makes sense or that would be safe. They're going to have to wait till they reach a corner, like maybe the elbow, where he can let them pass. It's so slippery on the outside of the elbow, though. You have to be incredibly careful trying to let anyone go to the inside there. But let's see. They're approaching it now. What will Burning Man do? No, he's not going to give him the inside of the elbow. He looks to stay outside as they get into Conrad, though. Little Mac already in there with the nose anyway, but I think that was probably Burning Man's best chance to let them pass safely, to let both cars pass safely. Little Mac and Let It Rip will go through. That has allowed Let It Rip to get up to Little Mac's bumper, though. Can he take his position back? Little Mac a little bit defensive into the chase, into Murray corner. What's it looking like? I think Little Rip's too far to make a move. Certainly is. Is it on in turn 1 at all? We'll see. They're going to get there in a moment. No move into turn 1, but S7 definitely all over the back of Little Mac after hitting traffic. And I wonder if that is going to cost Little Mac, give S7 an advantage somewhere, or if they're still going to stay in the same order of this running. Well, so far, Little Mac keeping that 7, keeping Let It Rip at bay. Oh, if that plunge down into the S's is always so crazy. That camera angle really shows the sudden, just like, it really feels like the bottom drops out from under the car for a little bit, for a moment, as you go under that bridge. Got a situation going here for 7th place. Up front, Ricardus, CB Matt Merch just behind him in 8th. Bendix in 10th. I wonder if something's going on with Ricardus' car. I'm not sure. Can't remember, but he was pretty pacey. So to have a line of train of 2 cars behind him indicates to me that he's going a bit slow. Here comes Bendix around CB Matt. I'm sorry, this is LJ, not Bendix. LJ around CB Matt Merch, and he's going to get behind Ricardus. He's made that pass and hard into the brakes for the chase. That's LJ with a position into 8th place. You know, I feel like LJ once told me that it doesn't go by LJ, but I don't remember now. So in this race today, he's LJ. Let's see if we can... I'll see if this develops into anything first, but I'd like to look at the order now and look at what it was before. The Truth up front, of course, Toto in 2nd, has been in 2nd this whole race. Little Mac in the 3rd now. Behind Little Mac was Let It Rip last we checked. And in 5th behind Let It Rip, is it Flash? Yes, it's Flash in 5th. Leo in 6th. LJ for the move into 7th place over Ricardus into Quarry Bend. That was amazing. And here comes CB Matt Merch also trying to get through. Ricardus says absolutely not. I let 1 car go. It won't be 2. But they are both chasing LJ up the hill now, coming into Reed Park. And I don't know that CB Matt Merch is getting much closer here, but what a view this is, looking backwards at those 2 cars chasing. And LJ with that brilliant pass on Ricardus there. Really well done. And he is starting to get away from them. Their headlights getting smaller, getting further in the distance. Hard on the brakes now for the S's. That's going to make them accordion back together. Ooh, that was dizzying right there. That little sequence of camera cuts. This is Leo and Flash. That's ahead of LJ. They're 14 seconds ahead of LJ. So not in any danger of him popping up soon, but these two still running together, still doing their thing. Let It Rip is 13.3 seconds ahead of them. There's only 20 minutes left in the race. I don't know that they can make up 13.3 seconds, but you want to get as close as possible because you never know when someone might make a mistake. Little Mac in 3rd. Toto in 2nd. 34 seconds to the Truth. So, and Toto had a bad lap. There's a 220 there on lap 42. So, some big mistake has lost him a lot of time to the Truth, but I don't think he was going to be close enough to make anything happen anyway. Ooh, Ricardo's back into the pits again. What happened? Well, you know what? We just saw him get passed by LJ. I wonder, I guess he must have damage. I don't know if it's from the pass, but maybe that's what facilitated the pass. Just him going really slowly on the track due to it. Not sure. Not sure at all. Blue flags for Burning Man in last place. Why don't we take a look at the order while we're here? We had Total Wolf in 1st, Let It Rip in 2nd, Burning Man in 3rd. Oh, this actually paused the race for us. This is nice. I forget it's not live right now. SCR Kai was in 4th place. He's somewhere in the back now. Actually, I feel like I haven't seen his car in a while, so I wonder if we lost Kai. We'll double check. Little Mac in 5th, took that drive-through penalty, ended up in last, and now running in 3rd place. That's insane. The Truth from 6th to 1st. I didn't even realize he started in 6th, so he must have had a fantastic first couple of turns because he was in 3rd place very, very early on in lap 1. Bendix was in 7th. He's now traveling in 10th? Leo in 8th. He's up a couple positions. LJ was in 9th, and he is 2. Fry in 10th. He's down. Ricardus just pitted. We're going to see where he comes out, but maybe somewhere close to last. CB Matt Merch running in 12th at first. Flash, and from 13th, has made his way up into 5th place here Wooly did not make the race, and the Damn Cat running pretty well for one of the only two AMs on the track. That's Kai and the Damn Cat. The Damn Cat. I keep forgetting how to say the name. But yeah, the Damn Cat running really well in the race. Pickle Kai is still here. He's just second to last place. Leo has been behind Flash for a while. If we recall, Leo severely short-fueled coming out of the pits, and that is what enabled their jump into fourth place out of the pits, even after pitting twice. Now, of course, they are in sixth now, they were in fourth after behind Let It Rip. Ooh, a pass on Flash. I think that was a mistake from Flash. I was looking at the tree on the left and not looking at the cars, but Leo now in front of Flash, now leading these two. Leo was in need of fuel saving. I wonder if he's good now. Only 18 minutes left. He's been fuel saving for about 30, something like that. I wonder if he's good to go to the end. I think fuel will be tight on this one. I've seen a lot of people completely fill it up, even folks who seem to have saved a good amount of gas. And then, of course, you've seen people short fuel like Leo did, indicating that they have some confidence in their ability to save gas and still go fast. That was not supposed to rhyme, but here we are. But I guess we'll find out very soon. We're nearing the end of the race. I will remove the banner at some point. I don't know how soon to the end that I removed it, but I did remove it so we can see everyone's fuel and tire situation into the end of the race. Man, the Truth with 34.5 seconds. This has been a dominant race for the Truth. No question. It's not even close. Just from the very beginning, got up front. Is that a spin? That was not a spin. I think that was a car turning. That looked like a car spinning. Cars passing Burning Man for blue flags. That's Leo and Flash, who just made a pass on Burning Man there into the S's. And they just seem to be chilling together. There's no one for them to really run after. Ooh, CB Matt Merch behind LJ. Almost gets into the back of him, into the elbow there. Pretty lucky. I don't think there was a touch. Had to slow way down, though. And that creates a little bit of a gap to LJ there for him. But CB Matt Merch it's been a solid race. Quiet race. He was in that big line of cars, of course. But I don't know that we've seen much drama from them, if I recall correctly. Matt, you've been good, right? Exhaust popping on these cars as they head down into the braking for Murray's Corner. Of course, they will have custom race exhausts, and they sound good, don't they? I believe this is an inline 6-cylinder engine on this car. It could be a turbo 4 as well, but for some reason, not inline 6, V6. Front engine, longitudinally mounted. Why don't we find out? That's what the internet's for. That's what the internet's for. That's what the internet's for. All right. the Atenza. It's an inline 4. I was wrong. But it makes 393 horsepower. It is turbocharged. Okay, so turbo 4. I wasn't wrong. Hey, Ricardus, I don't know how long ago you typed this. You said you just woke up. Be a good trip to work while watching the race. Well, have a great day at work, my friend. I hope that it goes by quickly for you. Where we at? Who am I looking at? Flash and Leo still, Leo starting to run away from Flash a little bit. Made that pass, and he's like, all right, and bye. So maybe Leo has saved enough fuel. And maybe Flash is like, nope, I'm sticking with you. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. What else can I tell you about Mount Panorama? I just watch some races on it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, look up the 1,000 kilometers, or maybe it's 1,000 miles. I think it's kilometers. I think they do metric down there, not freedom units. But I think it's 1,000 kilometers of Bathurst. Probably one of the most famous races that happens at Bathurst every year. Ooh, they side by side. What is going on? That's Leo and Flash. So Flash around Leo again, down the front straight into Quarry, and he gets around him. So Flash into 5th place, Leo back into 6th. But what if Leo let that happen, right? What if he was like, yeah, I need to save a little more fuel? Maybe 12 and a half minutes left of racing. Yeah, look up the Bathurst 1000. And like I said, this weekend is the legendary 12 hours of Bathurst. So definitely go to bathurst12hour.com and you can find out how you can stream that in your country. I think it's free, like everywhere pretty much, So go check it out. It is a fantastic race. It is brilliant. It is like Bathurst has been red flagged multiple times in my history of watching the race for there being a kangaroo on track. I mean, it's that kind of wild, you know what I mean? Like, it's some Australia stuff, some stuff that only happens in Australia. Like, yo, why'd they have to stop the race? Was it raining? Nah, fam, it was a kangaroo. Yeah, the kangaroo on track. He was trying to box everybody, so we were just trying to get him off of there. It's also so narrow that incidents become a thing. Imagine a car being sideways at the dipper. Oh my god. I mean, if you played this game enough, you've encountered a car sideways at the dipper, and you know that if they're sideways at the dipper, it is literally threading a needle to get around them. And sometimes, listen, race cars are a very fat needle, okay, or fat thread rather. I was like, which part of the metaphor is the race car? They're the thread, okay? And race cars are very fat threads. They're not good for sewing. Truly very hard to thread a needle with a race car. Little Mac is chasing Toto down, but it's not going to be enough. Little Mac is going to have to settle for 3rd so long as they survive it. LJ's in 7th now, so good recovery drive going for them. CB Matt Merchant 8th behind them. I think LJ could have had so much more if they hadn't had that incident with, I believe it was Ricardus, and had to give the position back very early on in the second stint. Bendix into 9th place, Ricardus in 10th. They did have to pit for another bit of damage. That brings the Damn Cat behind them in 11th place. So these two running together for a little 10th place battle. Okay, behind them is Fry by about 40 seconds. So Fry out of the picture with these two. Pickle Kai an additional 40 seconds behind Fry, and then Burning Man 24 seconds behind Pickle Kai. So the last cars, everyone after 10th place, very far away from one another, not racing. Battle for 10th, battle for 5th between Leo and Flash, going back and forth. And CB Matt Merchant, LJ, I wouldn't call it a battle. I think LJ is running away from CB Matt Merchant, but they were close last time we checked. Was Ricardus racing anyone? I think he had It wasn't Pickle Kai. Who's behind Ricardus? Well, anyway, this is the highest battle we have. That battle for 5th place here. Leo versus Flash. They've been going at it since the beginning of the race. Actually, they were cooperating. And it's not been full of action here either. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've been cooperating. They've been cooperating. Into Murray Corner. There's a hotel there. I don't know if you can see it. Well, you didn't see it from any of those camera angles that we were at, but I'm sure there are lights on it. But just after the chase, you know, it's a huge hotel that they opened in the 2000s, and I would like to stay there if I come to Bathurst. It just overlooks the track, so you get to wake up every morning to like track noises. I think it's a great place. I think it's a great idea. If I go to Australia, still scared for my life. It really doesn't look like a street circuit, does it? But it is. I promise you it's a street circuit. All of these roads are public. This is a pass on Pickle Kai, blue flag pass, not anything bad. Very scary going too wide in the S's, but everyone gets through nice and neat. That was awesome. Very well done by all 3 drivers there to keep that nice and neat. But yeah, all these roads can be driven. There's a driveway right there. You know, there are houses, especially along this straight. You probably see some driveways here. There, those cutouts, those cut openings in the barriers. Those are people's homes and farms that they can enter. And when it's not a race day, of course, you can drive on the track. There's a speed limit, obviously. I don't think you can just go as fast as you want and treat it like the racetrack on non-race days. I would imagine that people try, but it's probably very full of police. This is a battle here with LJ and CB Matt Merch. That was a pass. That was a lunge for a pass from CB Matt Merch onto through LJ into the chase. That was a pass for 7th place, and it was amazing. It was really good, really nice and neat. It almost looked like LJ let it happen, but I know LJ didn't. CB Matt Merch just did that good. It was smooth. Not smooth, it was smooth. All right, guys, 6 minutes to go. Any battles that are going on, need to start resolving it now. We only got 2 or 3 more laps left in this thing. So if you're bumper to bumper with somebody, you've been fighting with somebody, y'all been elbows out, now's the time to make that decisive move and get it done. I'm sure the cars are low on fuel. I'm sure that right front tire is screaming with everything within it to be left alone. And yet, persevere you must. I hope I take the banner off at this 5-minute mark here. I don't remember if I did. Not gonna lie, I don't remember. But I hope I did. Oh yeah, I do, right here. Ooh, Leo, right front, done. Gaslight flashing, but he's got a couple laps left. He is falling 2 seconds behind Flash, though. I think he has to save. Flash, right front, done. Better fuel situation, and here's Let It Rip. So actually, Flash almost in place to take 4th place. What happened to Little Rip? Did you have a bad lap? Little Mac is in 3rd, 25 seconds ahead of Let It Rip. Did Let It Rip? No bad laps. He just had to slow way down and went from doing 2:15s to 18s and 19s. He has been fuel saving, and that has brought Flash into the running. That said, Let It Rip and Flash have about the same amount of fuel now. So what's up? If there's any saving to be done, they both will have to save. In fact, Flash has less fuel than Let It Rip. He goes inside into Murray. Let It Rip is defending though. Flash has no choice but to stay behind him. There's nowhere to go. He's too far to make a move into turn 1 here, it looks like. So Let It Rip safe there. But Flash will be trying to get a fantastic exit out of turn 1 here, and he does. Gets a better exit than Let It Rip. So good that he's not even going to get a slipstream from him. He's just going to drive alongside him. Will he be able to drive around him by the time they get, before they even get into the braking zone for turn 2? There's S7 in his mirror there. Actually, that's a backup camera, I think. Chasing Flash. He's got a better line through turn 2. However, there's nowhere for him to go as he chases Flash up the hill into the cutting. Keeps it neat in the cutting. These are not places where you can easily make a pass, though. The person in front of you has to really mess it up for you to get a pass, and chances are they'll be in the way if they do mess it up around here. So this is about patience, climbing the mountain behind a car, sticking to their bumper, and waiting until you get to one of their more obvious passing points. Right here, if people make a mistake into Skyline, you can usually get them. Flash does it perfectly, though. Into the S's, maybe if you mess up the braking, but again, not much room to get around if they mess up. The dipper, certainly not it. Your first chance is going to be right here at Forest Elbow if they don't keep a nice tight line through there. Yep, sure enough, Let It Rip already positioning the car to do just that. Flash, however, gets a great run into and out of the corner, so nothing that S7 or Let It Rip, Jesus, can do about it. Just behind him is Leo, 1.2 seconds back, and if they keep fighting, Leo will be right there. It'll be a three-way battle for 4th here. But yeah, Let It Rip wants that position back. Flash obviously doesn't want to give it back here. We are, oh my gosh, almost an hour and 58 minutes into the race, so that'll bring 2 minutes to the end of this race. That means when these guys cross the line, there'll be one more lap left. It's a 2-minute 15, 2-minute 18 lap around here, and they're coming into the final corner now. That is Flash, and we are past the 1 hour 58 minute mark. So if S7 Let It Rip is going, why do I keep calling him by his team name? If Let It Rip is going to make a pass, it's going to have to be this lap. If Leo's going to get close enough to do anything, it's going to have to be this lap. CB Matt Merch still leads LJ. CB Matt in 7th, LJ in 8th. Here's our 3-way situation for 4th. Almost 3-way. Flash kind of running away from Let It Rip. Let It Rip kind of falling into the clutches of Leo, actually. So maybe Flash has gotten away with this. Not quite yet. It's not in the clear, but starting to build a little bit of a gap. And the stream is paused for a reason, for a thing, and will it come back? We all hope so, of course. What if it doesn't? What if it never comes back? What then? What if we never find out how this race ends? Wouldn't that be crazy? I mean, do we? Oh, all right, we're back. We're back, and so far, nothing has changed. Flash still in 4th. Let It Rip in 5th. Leo, closer though. Leo less than a second away from Let It Rip. So this is it, guys. Where's our leader? The Truth going through the cutting. The Truth had to take another lap around. This will definitely be his final lap, though. There are 10 seconds left in the race. Flash 1.2 seconds from Let It Rip now. I think he's okay. Look at that fuel. He's barely gonna make it. He's on the back straight now. Scary, scary time to be low on fuel and be hitting the top of the rev range down Conrad. He'll be grateful to get on the brakes here for the chase. Only a couple more corners to go to get it. Little Mac just took the checkered flag for 3rd place. So Little Mac has crossed for checker. These 3 will cross for checker. Somebody's got a penalty back there. Here's Flash for 4th. Just don't mess up that corner. Let It Rip into 5th. That is Leo with the penalty. So Leo will end up losing, probably not lose a position. I I don't know how far CB Matt Merch is, but I don't think he's close enough to. Oh, well, he's right there, actually. So he might take the position over Leo. The penalties are usually 1 second if you don't take them before the end of the race. Looks like Matt's still sitting in 7th here, so maybe he's just outside a second. Here comes LJ. He's going to cross the line in 8th place. No, he's not, because he's out of fuel. He's out of fuel. LJ into the pits. Is that what happens? Oh, and it's into the wall. What is happening to LJ? Yes, 0 in fuel in that tank. I think the game pitted him. So LJ, instead of getting 8th, finishes in 10th. Loses 2 positions doing that. That brought Ricardus to 9th. Here comes the damn cat, and he's going to finish up. That is the end of the race. What a race. Lots and lots of crashes for damage, many passes, lots of cooperation, lots of betrayals. It was quite a race. Quite a race to have to call twice. Man, I don't want to have to do this again. 2 hours is a long time. Grateful that I had the chance to do it, though. I wanted to make it right for the racers who, practiced all week and got into this thing and want to see it broadcasted and, see how they did, of course, and how they look on camera. And certainly to my teammates, Chris and Pixteca of High Pre, it's only fair to them that things get broadcasted. So that is our finishing order there. Do I read it out loud? The Truth, Toto, Little Mac, Flash, Let It Rip, Leo, CB Matt Merch, Bendix in 8th, Ricardus in 9th, LJ, The Damn Cat in 11th, Fry in 12th, Pickle Kai in 13th, and Burning Man in 14th. Unfortunate for LJ there. Man, just bad luck all throughout the race. Here I leave to go get the folks coming in for an interview. Unfortunately, you can't hear my mic on the interview, and I'm not going to pretend like I remember the exact questions that I asked and the timing between the answers. So we will not play the interview at all. What I will do is go back and tell you again to check out the Gentleman's GP this Friday night. Tuesdays, we've already missed it. It's 11:47 p.m. on Tuesday night. They may still be in the party, but they're not racing this race anymore. But on Friday, you have a qualifying race and I think it's a 1 hour race. I can't remember. There's an endurance race on Fridays, 8:15 p.m. You can check out all the details at GTCHAMPIONS.com. We will be in 80s and 90s supercars. I think they're all 90s actually. And the superest of supercars, the Ferrari F50, the Jaguar XJ220, the Lamborghini Diablo, the McLaren F1. That's the one, y'all. The F1? That's the one. And the Porsche 959. Make sure to check that out. Also, check out BMRL. It's an e-racing truck NASCAR series that we do commentary for. GTC TV, our commentary arm, of course, covering that every weekend. Round 10 is coming up at Sonoma Raceway. So NASCAR trucks on a road course, always going to be good to find. Check them out at BMRL's YouTube channel. You can find more info on GTChampions.com. Finally, make sure to check out our Ferrari Challenge. If you are looking to race in iRacing or just watch some of our iRacing broadcasts, the Ferrari Challenge is GT Champions' first foray into iRacing. There's no registration fee. It's a single make race or series in Ferrari 296. 6 rounds around American racetrack. We are coming onto round 3 now, which will be at Sebring. It's fantastic. You get a 10-minute qualifying, a 60-minute race. They're Saturdays at 12 noon Eastern time. And if you just want to watch, they are broadcasted live with commentary. Here is the calendar of rounds. Like I said, this Saturday is round 3 at Sebring. I will be back in the booth for round 4, Road Atlanta, because I'm from Atlanta. This is the home track. Love this place. I was in for round 1 at Watkins Glen, and it was an awesome race to behold. So hopefully we get more of the same energy in round 4 and 5 and 6, of course. I want to say thank you to everyone for checking out this race and, of course, coming back to watch the rebroadcast. Really appreciate you. 4 more rounds left in this. 2 weeks from now, February 24th, we'll be in the Audi R8 Evo GT3 car at Saint Croix, an original track in Gran Turismo and one of my favorites. That should be an incredibly good race. I will bid you all good night here. Thank you again for watching. See you in a couple of weeks.